All right, so here's the deal. If you're a busy mama and you want to run a successful online business, this video is going to be a complete game changer for you. And I highly recommend you watch everything to the very end because I give you the full step-by-step game plan on how to run a successful business as a busy mama. Let's get into it. As you may already know, I unexpectedly became a single mom last year when my marriage fell apart. There's more about this video, and I kind of talk a little bit about what happened. And so if you click the link in the top right-hand corner, you can learn more about my situation and kind of what went down there. But not the purpose of today's video. Today, I really just want to focus on how to run a successful business. If you are a busy mama, you don't have that extra childcare, kind of like me, and you want to know how I make it work. In case you're wondering, Maria, you run a multi-million-dollar business. Why don't you have a nanny? Because I get that question kind of a lot. I don't want a nanny. I love taking care of my daughter. I love being a mom. I could hire a bunch of nannies. I could have round the clock childcare if I wanted, but I don't want that. I want to be with my baby. And so the bottom line, as we go into the actual game plan of this video, is a massive setup. The bottom line is I'm like most of you guys in that while I do make more money maybe than some of the people watching my video, I have the same amount of very, very, very limited time. I have very little time to work on my business. And so my goal for this video is to show you what you need to do in the little tiny pockets of time that you have. And that's why I created your success game plan, which is what I'm going to show you now. Okay, so there's 4 parts to this game plan, and we're going to literally work through them one at a time. There's the when, which is when are we supposed to work as busy moms? The what are we supposed to work on as busy mamas? What are we not supposed to do as busy mamas? And what is my very next step, which is why I want you to stay towards the end, because I want you to walk away from this game plan with extreme clarity on your very next step. So we're going to take the when first. When are we supposed to work as busy mamas? Basically what I did here is I drew a little calendar, and if you're like me, most of your day is taken up by taking care of your kids. You're a primary caretaker, at least I am. And so what that means for me is I usually have a nap time. My baby's still little, so she has a nap time. And then I can either work in the morning or I can work in the evening after she's sleeping. And really it's like 1 hour in the morning before she wakes up at best. Maybe 2 hours at nap time if I'm lucky. And I'm going to be real with you guys. For me, I am too tired by the end of the day after running after a toddler all day to get anything done. So for me, I tend to get like 1 hour in the morning, 2 hours at nap time for a total of 3 hours a day. And really what I've learned and what I've come to accept is that my business fits into my life, not the other way around. So what I mean by that is if I only have 3 hours to work, I only have 3 hours to work. And that is what it is. I found a lot more peace in just accepting my reality as a primary caretaker, and that is my priority. And I'm going to make the money that I want in the time that I have. And so it's this idea of like almost bending your reality to fit the life you want to create. I want to be a present mother. I'm not going to try to work. This is what I used to do, and I had to really accept this. I used to try to work here and there. Like if my daughter was like playing for a little bit, I'd be like, oh, and I'd grab my laptop and I'd try to get work done. But she'd immediately come and interrupt me to see what I was doing, and then I'd be frustrated and resentful. So I've really just come to accept that I'm going to work when my daughter is sleeping, and that is what it is. And I'm just going to accept that. So when are you going to work? You're going to work when you can. Now, you might like working in the evenings more than I do, so you're going to work in the evenings. Next is what you're going to work on, right? So this is really the meat of the game plan because I'm going to tell you specifically what you're going to work on as a busy mom. What the hell should you be focusing on? This. So you're going to work on your offer, marketing, and sales. That's it. And I got a pie chart here because I want to show you something, okay? So if this one is 10%, this one is 10%, and this one is 80%, your marketing going to be 80% of what you do. As a mom, you're going to spend about 80% of your time marketing. 10% of your time is going to be focused on sales, and 10% is going to be fixing your offer. And we're going to fix the offer first. The honest truth, you guys, is that you cannot have an offer that's hard to take, that takes time to complete. Your offer needs to be done very quickly. I'll give you an example. Back in the day, I used to design 6 to 10 websites at a time before I had kids. Do you think there's any reality right now where I could be designing 6 to 10 websites in my little 3-hour pocket? There's not a chance in hell. I just never would be able to do that. And so we have to get creative with our offers. Our offers cannot take a long time to complete. And so there's really not anything I need to write on this iPad as I think about it. It's just you need to answer the question. This is your question. If tomorrow I woke up and made 100 sales, of my offer, what would break? And the reason why this is important and the reason why that we're even talking about this is because deep down there's a layer inside of you that instinctively knows if your offer is not scalable. If you deep down knows, okay, if I woke up and got 10 clients, I wouldn't even be able to handle 10 clients, you're going to sabotage your growth. Because deep down your body, you're trying to protect yourself basically. And so you say, okay, you know what? I know I couldn't get 10 clients, so I'm just not going to get clients. And I see that happen over and over and over again in my students in my coaching group where they say they want to get clients, they think they want to get clients, but the way that their life would dramatically change for the worse if they actually woke up and got 100 clients absolutely sabotages the way they attract clients. You're repelling clients rather than attracting them. And so here's the reason why we're talking about this, because you might not wake up and get 100 clients tomorrow. But I want you to start thinking like a successful business owner. I want you to have a ton of money. Just because you're a mom does not mean you are not capable of being a successful, true business owner, not like a hobby business owner, but the actual owner of a company. And that's how I want to train you to start thinking about right now is what are you selling? Can you sell 100 of them tomorrow? Because if the answer is no, you probably won't sell one tomorrow. And so, yeah, you're going to have to fix your offer a little bit to make it something that's truly scalable. So then you actually position to go out and spend, 80% of your time on marketing and 10% of your time on sales because you're not clogged down in the weeds of delivering whatever it is you're selling. So now we're talking about marketing. Marketing is 80% of that game plan, right? So you're gonna be spending 80% of your time creating content, marketing your offer. I don't spend a ton of time creating content, right? Because I don't work that much, because I can't work that much, although I would love to. I just can't right now. Even though I don't spend a ton of time creating content, that's still 80% of what I do is content creation. But I wanna give you a couple hacks to make this really simple and valuable, because I would say 95% of you, especially if you're like in my coaching group, I see like you're my student. And so I really do see the content you create. You're not creating content the right way at all. And that's why it's not working for you. So I want to fix that. Because again, hello, if you have a little bit of time to work, the last thing in the world I want you to be doing is creating content that doesn't work. It's such a morale buster. So we need to massively simplify your marketing. And then here's the hack, okay? Here's the content hack that I want that's going to really simplify 80% of your marketing. You're going to make your content, and I know you might have heard this before, but I want you to really hear it as if it's for the first time. Maybe close your eyes or just do something so you hear what I'm going to say in a totally different way. You're going to make content that is so helpful, it goes viral. That is my hack. I make content, and I've made content for the longest time where it is so helpful, it goes viral, and it does the marketing for me. I leave it all on the field when it comes to content. I make my best stuff and I give it away for free. And I want to give you an example so you can see the standard to which I'm going to hold you with your content creation, because you actually have to create less content and make more money if you do it this way. So I want to show you just one little thing, okay? So I made this reel yesterday. It has almost 50,000 views. It has over 1,500 comments. Just mute this. It's over 1,500 comments. And I'll show you like the link to what it goes to. I want you to actually see the thing that it's a PDF, jam-packed with it's basically a course and a PDF that I'm giving away for free. And here's the crazy thing. I don't even make them give me their email address. Here it is. You see, this is to this lady. Here's a link to the PDF. They click it, takes them right to the PDF. It's a Google Drive folder, like no opt-in, nothing. As soon as it loads, you can just start reading a very long PDF where I teach them, like, let's just look at like one of the steps. Day 5, leveraging bots to sell for you, autopilot sales. So then I literally walk through this like tutorial on how I get bots to make sales for me so I like don't have to be manually making sales. Again, this is one part of a 7-day free course that I didn't charge any money for, and I didn't even ask for a free email address in exchange for this. This is what I've learned, and I learned this from Johnny, my video guy. It is so much better to not make content at all than to make subpar content. That is what he taught me. Because I used to be like, oh, it's about the daily consistency. Even if it's shitty content, at least you're putting it out there. No. He taught me it is better to make no content at all than to make lukewarm content that just adds to the noise. And I completely agree with him now. I used to totally disagree with him. And so I've always given away really, really, really helpful content. And that's why my marketing does so well. So that's 80% of what you're going to be doing. And it takes time, right? That's why it's an 80% chunk is going to be making really, really helpful content. Last part is just 10%. It's sales. When you do your marketing really well, your content is doing most of the sales for you. So it's overcoming objections, it's building trust, it's, attracting people to you. Your marketing is doing the majority of that work for you, but there's still that tiny 10% that you need to do. And the way I think about that are your hard pitches, your calls to action. It might be at the very end of that helpful PDF, I may have a little call to action to buy a course. So 80% of that was marketing, 80% of that was just that very, very helpful content. It's just serving people. And then there's that little 10%, that little pitch to follow me, or that little pitch to buy something, or that little call to action. That's going to be your sales. And you do need to spend about 10% of your time doing that. Let's just say you have 1 hour. You have 1 hour. I would spend that 1 hour working and getting about 50% of the way done with a really good piece of content. And then the next day, I would finish that piece of content, put a little call to action at the very end, and publish it. That's what I would do if it were me. Okay, so that's what you should be doing. What should you not be doing? And you guys, I want to lovingly come through the screen and just shake you by the shoulders a little bit, because in my coaching group with all my students, I see you guys doing so many things that you should not be doing. So here's what I did. I made a list of all the things that feel like you can't miss out opportunities, don't miss. These are all things that you should not do, okay? And again, there are exceptions that prove every rule, but that you should not be doing: podcast appearances, collaborations, any content consuming where you're just watching people's content, scrolling through Facebook groups, too much research, following the latest trends, focusing on getting things perfect. Again, these are things that feel like in the moment somebody's like, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? It feels like a good opportunity, but let's be real. How big is that podcast? Is it actually going to get you exposure? Or if you spent that same hour being on a podcast, if you spent that time creating a truly valuable piece of content, it was like a tutorial on how to do something that not a lot of people know how to do in your industry, that would probably go more viral and get you more exposure and build more trust in the long run. So again, 80% of your time should be creating truly valuable. You hear it all the time, create valuable content, but think about, what does truly valuable content mean to your audience? Spend your time doing that. If you have questions, I think you should ask them in my Facebook group. I've created a special Facebook group for you to ask questions and get them answered in real time. And that's one of the reasons I love my coaching group. Is it's not a program where you have to watch a bunch of videos and then it creates more questions and answers. This is a space for you to have a quick question, get a quick answer. So again, it's called Maria Wentz Coaching Group. I'll put a link in the description down below. Not only is it great for your questions, but it's also really good community support, encouragement, and just access to me. Like if you ever want to ask me a question about something going on in your business, you can do that in my coaching group. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Lots of good business advice over here. I'll see you in the next one.